Warning, the Stone Age Gamer includes a lot of bad language. Cover your mother ears.
Good evening and welcome to episode 117 of the Stone Age Gamer podcast for the week of September 16th, 2016. I am Kris Randazzo, and my co-host joining me as always is Project Katana, Dan Ryan.
Ooh, I get to be Project Katana this week. That's exciting. Spoilers, though, man.
Well, all right. Last week's episode came on September 9th, and neither Dan nor myself can figure out why the hell we didn't think to do a Dreamcast episode. So we're doing it this week instead, because what difference does it make?
It's not like this system is coming out this week.
We're going to do the anniversary episode of the week after it came out.
This way we all had time to digest. And
yeah. Had time to, bandage up my thumb after pressing against the pointiest D-pad in the history of D-pads. But before we get to all that, here's your weekly reminder that you can email us at mail@geekade.com and let us know what you think of our show, what topics you would like us to discuss in the future, or just say hello, because we always want to hear from you. Yes, you, the listeners. Now on to business. Dan,
Kris,
how are you?
I'm fucking here.
That you are.
God, man, it has been so uncomfortably hot this last week, and I think I mentioned last week that in my place of employment, it's an old building that was built turn of the century, so it doesn't have air conditioning.
And it was built on a hellmouth, so.
And it was built on a hellmouth with fucking B. Arthur staring up. I don't know why B. Arthur's in hell. That's not fair. I'm sure she was lovely.
There was a countless number of Buffy jokes to make there, and you went B. Arthur.
Well, this should tell you that I have watched a lot of Golden Girls and have watched a little bit of fucking Buffy. Dude.
Two very interchangeable shows.
Not for nothing, my birthday list, because my family still asks me for a birthday list, even though I'm in my 30s. I'm not gonna lie, the Golden Girls Funko Pops are on my birthday list because I can't imagine a reason I shouldn't have those in my life.
Are on or are your birthday list?
Just they are the top. I sent it out to the family, and I was like, all right, fuckers, if you're going to ask for this shit, I'm going to tell you order of importance. Golden Girls Funko Pops are at the top. Styluses to play Puzzle and Dragons on my phone are next. Then some other bullshit that it's fucking...
I guess I could use some shoes and a hair tie, but...
Whatever. Fucking, I don't even need that shit. Just the Friendly Swede Stylus Pack and Golden Girls Funko Pops. And it'll be a happy birthday to me. Anyway, fuck were we talking about? Oh, how we are. So anyway, building on the hellmouth, it has just been ungodly hot. If any of you out there listening have ever been in old buildings in the summer, you feel my pain. It fucking sucks. It's so uncomfortable. But other than that, I'm good. How are you?
I just got an email from Chili's offering, save $5 off of something. So I'm living the dream, man.
Son of a bitch. Chili's, you say? God damn it.
Screw this show. Let's go to Chili's.
You fancy motherfucker, you.
I'll bring my own taco sauce.
I got
callbacks
of it.
Comedy gold. All right. All right, it's enough of this. Dreamcast, the second Dreamcast. It was at the Dreamcast anniversary. Launched on September 9th, 1999 for, was it $199, I think. It was outstanding. I wrote a whole thing on StoneAgeGamer.com about this, about my experience with the Dreamcast launch and how it was just the most exciting day for me. Probably the most exciting day. One of the most exciting days that I ever worked in any retail. I mean, I remember a handful of events just being like, holy crap, I can't believe I'm here for this. getting Ocarina of Time for N64, like that launch day, working that launch day, showing up at the store and pulling mine out of the box. I remember me and Dan, you and me, were working together when Metroid Prime and Fusion came out, right? That was
Yes,
Toys R
we
Us.
were. Yes, we were.
Oh, can you remember pulling those things out of the box for the first time? You're like, it's a new Metroid game. It's in my freaking hands.
I have it. It's mine. Actually, no. Fuck. Wait. I was working at GameStop. That was a year afterwards when we were working at Toys R Us. I think the big relaunch was Pokemon, I believe. Maybe I'm wrong. No. Remember? Fuck it. This is really inside baseball. But we had an Atari representative who showed up like every now and again, and like out of nowhere she showed up one day and she was like, "Hey, so there's going to be a Dragon Ball Z game coming out." We were like, "No shit." And it was in stores the next day, and it was like, I think it was the first Budokai. And like they had not said anything about it. It wasn't on anybody's radar, and that fucking came out. We're like, "Oh shit, it's a fucking dope Dragon Ball game."
Nah, that was a good time. That was a good time. Well,
no, I remember because, because here's the thing. You were super excited about the Dreamcast, and you bought one on launch.
Hell yeah, I did.
I did not. I was waiting for the PS2, which, how much longer did it take for that to come out? Because Dreamcast was September 9th, 1999.
2001, I think?
And then, yeah, like, PlayStation 2 was like 2 years off, but that's how fucking excited I was and how ingrained into Sony I was at that point. I was like, fuck Dreamcast. There's some other shit that's going to be coming out. I'm waiting for that. You know, and like I knew a couple people who had bought a Dreamcast, but upon first holding the controller, I hated it. I hated the controller the first time I played it. And I don't know if I'm alone in that, but
no, you're definitely not alone. That thing is bizarre, but I mean, I remember liking it a lot just because it was the VMU that really sold me. It's like,
yeah,
it's got this little window in here. I can put this VMU and I play Soul Calibur. Look, it's a little mini chibi Killik, and he's stabbing when I press the button. This is the best thing I ever seen in my life.
Yes,
yeah, that controller was weird.
It's a fucking weird controller. Like, I subsequently became jealous of people who had Dreamcasts because there was an incredible amount of fighting games on that system. And
yeah, that was like the fighting game. I mean, let's go down the list. You had Soul Calibur at launch. Technically, you could go Ready to Rumble Boxing. We played the crap out of that in our store.
Dude, Ready to Rumble, like, not for nothing, that game was, at the time that it came out, because there hadn't, the Wii U was not even a thought, and the Wii wasn't even close to a reality yet. So, we were so far away from a new Punch-Out, and Fight Night wasn't out yet. Like, that didn't exist. So the last boxing game that had come out before that was, I'm sure there was one or two, like, stupid ones on the... It
was Knockout Kings.
Knockout Kings, yeah, that's the one. Wasn't very good. Like, it just wasn't a great game. There's a reason they stopped it. So when Ready to Rumble
was just plain fun.
It's a fucking fun game.
The first one, I didn't really care for the second one. Like, it kind of lost its charm by that point. But there was something about the way that game animated was just unbelievable. But I mean, let's see. You had Marvel vs. Capcom, Marvel vs. Capcom 2, Power Stone, Street Fighter 3 Double Impact, Street Fighter 3 Third Strike, Plasma Sword.
Fucking
what
Plasma
was the
Sword!
Sequel
so
to Rival Schools. What was the sequel to Rival Schools called? Project Justice.
Naturally,
a handful of King of Fighters games were on the Dreamcast.
Fucking Fatal Fury, Mark of the Wolves.
Oh, true.
That game is fucking incredible. Like, Fatal Frame, Mark of the Garou, or Garou, or however the fuck you're supposed to say it. I don't speak French.
Did I mention Power Stone?
Yeah, fucking Power Stone. 1 and 2.
1 and 2.
Out of control, good.
I just had one. Oh, Virtua Fighter.
Fucking Virtua Fighter was good, man. Like, there were so many good fighting games on the Dreamcast that, like, I was super jealous because I was huge into fighting games at the time. Mm-hmm. And not for nothing, like, I have the PS2 version of Marvel vs. Capcom 2, and it's just fine. But the Dreamcast version is better.
Yeah, the Dreamcast version was legit. And, like, if you're making that PS2 comparison, like, I remember the PS2 launched, and it's like, here's Street Fighter EX3. And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to play Third Strike. Nobody likes Street Fighter EX. I don't know how that series got to 3.
I don't know.
Just based on people liking Doctrine Dark and Skullomania. Like, that was it. It's like, well, these two characters are cool, and I guess it's kind of 3D. That's neat.
Skullomania can go pound sand. Pardon my French. Where the alpha games were on Dreamcast as well,
that's right. Alpha 3. There was a really great
Alpha
port of Alpha
3
3 on there, too.
An incredible fighting game. I mean, God damn it! Like when I eventually picked up a Dreamcast, I was working at Game Crazy at the time in Glassboro, and somebody came in to trade in their Dreamcast, and it was like the black Sega Sports one. So it was very exciting. It was cool and sexy. But somebody came in and they had Project Justice, Power Stone 1 and 2, Fatal Fury, Mark of the Wolves, Soul Calibur, and a couple other fighting games that we hadn't mentioned, and the system and 2 controllers and like a VMU or some shit. And like I went to ring it all up in the system and it was like $20. So being the good game store employee that I was like, hey, how about we step outside and I'll give you $25 and I'll just take all this shit home, because fucking every single person, except maybe you, Kris, who worked in a video game store, pulled that shit.
I pulled that shit.
Oh, okay.
I usually didn't do it with stuff that the store could take because I had typically bought it by that point. But, I mean, it's how I got all my 32Xs. It's how I got my Philips CDI. It's how I got a handful of stuff.
It's a tried and true tradition of the game store of like, hey, we're going to rip you off and fuck you in the ass, but I'll take you outside and fuck you in the ass, but I'll use lube. So, like, that's cool, right? Like, we could do that. So, yeah, I paid like $25 and I got like the cool black Dreamcast and fucking all these fighting games, and then took it home and was like, fuck, there's no more online for this, so I can't play like half of this shit unless I call people to come over. I'm not going to fucking do that. That's...
There wasn't a ton of online stuff on there anyway. Like, there was some. I mean, really, I remember the only game I played online on the Dreamcast was Choo Choo Rocket.
Not Phantasy Star Online, not like the online game for the Dreamcast.
Like, Choo Choo Rocket came first. That was the first online game, and I picked that up and was like, yeah, this is all right. I don't have a very good connection here. I'm done with this. And then Phantasy Star Online was just like, I can't even imagine trying to play this with my internet connection. Hell no.
I can't play this on a 56K modem. Son of a bitch, I can barely record a podcast.
Dude, it used to take me like 20 minutes to load up my email back then. Like, it was not happening in my house. Like, no chance, no way, no how. So yeah, I missed the PSO boat almost entirely. Like, I'd see it and be like, shit, that game looks fantastic, but I'm never going to play it because I can't play it online.
Because I can't do that. God. Internet problems back in the day. Like,
you think it's bad now? Like, sure, yeah, I hate me some Comcast with the fire and passion of 1,000 Suns.
Sure.
But, going back then and you're like, all right, I'm going to get my email. And you'd hear it. Like, why would you vocalize that? Why wasn't that silenced to begin with?
I remember, maybe this is too personal, and we can edit it out if it is, but I'm going to share anyway. I remember sitting at my friend Crispy's house, and fucking Nicole Eggert, she was on Baywatch at the time, had just like, there had been some nude pictures released. And we knew his mom was coming home, so we were trying to get them on the computer and then fucking print them before his mom came home. And literally watching fucking line by line of naked Nicole Eggert showing up on his computer. Go, fuck, what time is it? Your mom's gonna be home soon, dude. God damn it, this is so slow.
And you print it out in a dot matrix printer.
Oh, fuck yeah. It just fucking, like, God, so anyway, we
black and white.
No, we printed it in color. We got the fucking thing printed up. Like, I was over his house the next day, and his mom was freaking out that all the color was gone in the printer because we printed up. Fucking goddamn it, Nicole Eggert. Anyway, that's so that's yeah. So Dreamcast launch.
Dreamcast launch, man. That was. What I loved so much about the Dreamcast launch was that everybody was so excited for the machine. Like, I always remember those two launches going hand in hand. Like, there was the Dreamcast launch, and then there was a very clear shift in my customer base where, like, PlayStation 2's coming out, so I'm trading in my Dreamcast. I'm like, yeah, well, what are you going to play on your PlayStation 2? And their answer was always, PlayStation 2's coming out. I was like, okay, fine. And then so the Dreamcast launched, there's line out the door, everybody gets a system, everybody goes home with a stack of games that they're genuinely excited to go home and play, a bunch of cool shit coming out in the future. And then like the PlayStation 2 launch, my Funko Land got 4 PlayStation 2 units. 4 of them. We had like 50 some odd pre-orders. We got 4 consoles. And 3 of those people came in to get their consoles just to turn around and sell them online. The other person, I remember him being like, I got my PlayStation 2, man, I'm so excited. And he's looking at the wall. I'm just like, Tekken?
Guess I'll play Madden.
Yeah, like
Ridge Racer.
There was zero. Like, what are you gonna do? Pick up Fantavision or whatever the Everlayer or whatever that dumb RPG thing? Oh, Eternal Stone
so
or something
bad.
like that. Or Orphan, Scion of Sorcery. It's like it was a rough launch and nobody was happy. There was not a single happy PlayStation owner except for the people that were just like, all right, I'm watching DVDs. This is pretty badass. I got me a DVD player. And like I said in my article, obviously they turned that shit around. Like the PlayStation 2 is one of the best systems ever.
Oh yeah,
like,
without question.
The lineup on that thing eventually just took over the damn world, but it came at such a cost of the Dreamcast. It was so sad that it was the hype for the PS2, not even the thing itself, but it was just the hype of it. The mention of the words PlayStation 2 was enough to get people to be like, fuck this Dreamcast, I don't need to play Shenmue.
That game sucks. No, and it really did. Like, the hype of the PS2 fucking killed Sega. Like, I mean, well, and Sega had a hand in it too, because
Sega had several hands in that.
Like, they kept making like really shitty Sonic games, but like that's the thing that's weird about the Dreamcast is that there are so many amazing games on that system, but they're not the games that were pushed or marketed, or like they were just like, oh yeah, there's this other thing coming out. And it's fucking amazing, you know, like even except maybe for like Crazy Taxi, because say what you will about what Crazy Taxi became. When Crazy Taxi first came out, that shit was amazing.
Yeah, it was
so
big.
much fun, and
really big. Resident Evil Code Veronica was another big one too.
Yeah, that was
a big get for them.
But like they took risks and they made weird shit. They were very much in the same position that Sony is now, except I would argue that Sony has done it better. You know, with like the weird shit that they release. Mm-hmm. And Sony hasn't gone so far as to release Seaman or anything like that, but things like Space Channel 5 and Crazy Taxi and Jet Grind Radio and fucking Choo Choo Rocket, and I'm sure there's more that I'm missing because, like I said, I was not an owner until very, very late. But like there were weird, quirky games on that system that you couldn't. There were experiences on the Dreamcast that you couldn't get anywhere else, and they were quality experiences. Mm-hmm. Yet the hype of the PlayStation 2 killed it dead.
I would say it's
destroyed it.
Yeah, completely destroyed it. And I would, and coupled with the fact that the GameCube and Xbox were on the way too. But I would say the Dreamcast is a little bit more akin to the Wii U, where it's like. Because the position that Sega was in at that point is they wound up carrying most of the system because a lot of the third parties had moved on. They were like,
right,
Sony,
fuck you,
easier money. Nobody's pirating these. Everyone's pirating your GD-ROM, Sega. Everyone.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
They teach you how to
too.
do that in like middle school at this point. Like the piracy was ridiculous. Yeah, something special. But yeah, they were making all these really. That was the last time you really saw a bunch of really uniquely Sega games, you know? Like, they started to show up on other platforms, and it kind of lost a lot of its magic. Like, you did get some interesting stuff showing up on other platforms. Panzer Dragoon Orta was a really cool game. The Jet Set Radio Future was
completely on the
good.
wrong system, though.
Yeah, completely on the wrong system. But I don't know how Microsoft landed those Sega exclusives. The what was it? Toe Jam and Earl 3, Panzer Dragoon Orta, and
wasn't 99
Jet
one
Set
of those
Radio
two
Future
or some shit?
What was that?
99, isn't that one of Sega's? No, maybe. I don't know.
99? I don't know.
Didn't they have a Typing of the Dead on Xbox as well?
Did that come out on Xbox? I know that
maybe.
they released House of the Dead 2 and 3 on Wii. There was House of the Dead 3 was on Xbox. That was the exclusive one.
Yeah.
Typing of the Dead, Dreamcast Typing of the Dead. Man, oh man, love that game.
But it's just a fucking weird thing. Like, in order to kill these zombies, I have to type.
And they bought into it so hardcore. They redid all the cinematics where instead of the characters holding guns, they were walking around with Dreamcasts on their back and keyboards strapped to their fronts. Just tapping the keys and the dot. God, that game is brilliant. I think of all the weird shit. Like you mentioned Space Channel 5 with Space Michael Jackson. Like
Space Michael Jackson.
Seaman, just what an experience Seaman was. Like, that was my introduction to the insanity that is Ute Saito, which you think that would be the height of his insanity, but I still think Odama on GameCube is the height of his insanity.
And fucking Rez?
Yeah, Rez, that was a winner.
Was,
that didn't come out here, though, I don't think.
The PS2.
The PS2 one came out here. I think it came out in Dreamcast in Europe.
Fucking not for nothing, like the Daytona USA games were really good.
Yeah, those were a good time. I love Toy Commander. I thought Toy Commander was great. I know a lot of folks complain about the graphics on that, but my friends and I used to gather together and play multiplayer Toy Commander all the time. It was so good.
We, however, are missing two pretty big ones. First, Skies of Arcadia.
Skies of Arcadia.
Definitely. I know it came out on GameCube. Fucking incredible game.
Well, later. There was a Dreamcast game.
Absolutely incredible game. But how have we gotten almost a half hour into the podcast about the Dreamcast and failed to mention Virtua Tennis?
Oh, true. I always pair Virtua Tennis and Sega Bass Fishing together because those are two games that should not be as fun as they are.
No, they should. I've never played the Bass Fishing one, but I know people fucking love it. Like, I know, like, it has
that fishing controller. I watched some dude beat Soul Calibur with that fishing controller, which is ridiculous. But yeah, that game should not have been as fun as it was. And Virtua Tennis, damn, good pick, man. Virtua Tennis was killer.
Like Virtua Tennis, if that came out today, the first Virtua Tennis, none of this other bullshit that they've released because it hasn't been quite right, but a straight up port of the first Virtua Tennis for $10 on Wii U Virtual or fucking PlayStation Store, or the Xbox Store, the Live Marketplace, or whatever the fuck it's called, and had online play with the current online systems, that'd be your fucking top selling game. Like, of the holiday season coming up. People would be like, fuck anything else that's coming up. I'm going to play Virtua Tennis.
I'm going to just play Virtua Tennis.
That's how good that fucking game was.
Yeah, that game was a real surprise in how good it was. You know, it was like, because it was all the fun of something like Mario Tennis, but it took out all of the ridiculousness of Mario Tennis and just made pure fun tennis game.
Yeah, it took out, like, it
just arcadey enough, you know?
Yeah, like the thing I've always disliked about the Mario games, for me, is that they always feel a bit too childish. Like, they always feel like the names of characters are always like, what's the fucking guy in Luigi's Mansion? Dr. Egad or some
Professor
shit?
Egad, yeah.
Yeah, like, fuck you. Like, come on.
Egad's amazing.
The name, though, like, it just, they're fucking uncle jokes. Like, Nintendo is your uncle who tells you a shitty joke and then laughs and hits you in the back too hard. Like, that's how I feel about a lot of their shit. So, like, playing Virtua Tennis, it was like, oh, this is fucking fun. I don't have to deal with all this other bullshit, though. I can look at fucking Anna Kournikova or some shit. Or who, I don't even know who the fuck was in there, but... You know, like,
you do miss out on some of the interesting, like, the things I like about the Mario sports games is when they don't overdo it, but when they add those interesting, like, oddities that only exist in the Mario universe. Like, it's one of the reasons I love Mario Strikers so much, because it's soccer crossed with Mario Kart. Like, the game was freaking violent as hell. And the Mario baseball games, like the shit where you launch a ball out in the middle of the field and it lands in a pipe and shows up somewhere else, like kind of weird stuff like that is pretty neat. But like, I know a lot of the Mario Tennis games have really taken it way too far, and they haven't been all that great lately. But
No,
yeah,
fucking Virtua Tennis is incredible.
is really incredible. I mean, I'm just looking at my list of games here that I have. Echo the Dolphin, Defender of the Future. Weird game, but gorgeous. Like,
it is very pretty.
I remember getting Elemental Gimmick Gear when it launched, and that was not good.
No,
I wanted it to be, because it was like, here's an RPG on the Dreamcast, and
it's
this is weird. Soul Reaver. I remember playing through Soul Reaver on PlayStation.
Great
and
version
I got
of
like
Soul Reaver.
halfway through it, and then they announced the Dreamcast one, and I said, I'm stopping. I'm waiting until the Dreamcast one comes out. And it was such a good idea, because the thing that was bugging me playing the PlayStation version was the frame rate. And then it came out on Dreamcast. It was silky smooth and gorgeous, and
yeah, it's a very, very good version of that game.
Gotta mention the Sega Sports stuff, NFL 2K, NHL 2K, NBA 2K. I mean, particularly NFL 2K. That was the first time I'd ever had a customer walk in the store and think I was watching football.
Yeah.
Granted, after a few seconds, you look at it and be like,
silly now.
Oh, okay, yeah, their fingers aren't moving. Boy, that's weird. But at first glance, you could mistake that for real football, which you would never have done in prior generations. Like, nobody's walking past NFL Blitz on N64 and thinking that's anything other than a mash of polygons.
Holy
Fun as shit,
Ray Lewis
but
is strong. Look at him dive across the field.
let's see, what else did I miss? I have to mention just how much I loved Sonic Adventure, the first one. And when I say loved that game, I mean was really impressed with the demo and the visuals of it. And then once I got past like level 4 or something, I just stopped playing that game because it's really not very good. But that first stage where you run away from the whale, I can still play that because it's still really fun. That's stage
the only
is
part of the game they spent time on. Yeah. That's the only part that they gave a shit
really
about.
Great. And then the music for the Chow Garden, spectacular. Let's see. Toy Commander. Remember my friend Kris really liked Trick Style, and I did not care for that game at all.
I don't even know what the fuck that is, actually.
It was one of the launch games, like the futuristic hoverboard skateboarding thing. It was pretty dumb.
Okay.
Didn't care for it.
Did you have, or do you have the Ikaruga for the Dreamcast? Because that fucking game.
That also didn't come out in America.
Oh, I thought it did.
GameCube.
Oh, well,
GameCube
I have.
I thought.
See, shows how much I know. That's a fucking
I'm
amazing
90%
game.
sure that's the case. I gotta look that up, but I'm pretty sure it didn't come out here. Just like I mean, like games like Cannon Spike, which I'm so pissed I didn't buy Cannon Spike because what a weird game that is. You ever played Cannon Spike before?
I've seen some videos of it, but
that's for our listening audience.
Yeah.
That's a top-down shooter. Kind of similar to the top-down shooter levels in like Contra, except it stars Charlie from Street Fighter, Mega Man, Arthur from Ghouls and Ghosts, Cammy from Street Fighter, and like a couple other no-name characters. And it's a shooter. It's
weird.
It's really weird. I don't know why this game is real, but it is. And
it's when Capcom used to be cool.
Yeah. And then Capcom, it only came. Ikaruga only came out in Japan for Dreamcast, and then it hit the GameCube in 2003. Yeah, April 2003.
What a good fucking game!
Damn, Ikaruga was awesome. Man, the end days of the Dreamcast were filled with so many weird ass shooters and stuff.
Yeah,
and
did you
a lot of them just never came out.
Did you get Samba de Amigo?
I did not get Samba de Amigo. It was like. It came out and I was like between paychecks, and because it was always expensive because it came with those maracas. I was really wanted to get that game, and I kept like putting it off. It was just like me with Earthbound. It was that Funko and be like, I'll get it later, and then it disappeared. It's like, shit, man.
I'll get it for $700 eventually.
I got Taiko Drum Master on PS2, but I don't have Samba de Amigo on Dreamcast.
I've got Donkey Konga, Taiko Drum Master, Guitar Hero. I've got every fucking instrument except a pair of maracas.
Son of a bitch.
God damn it.
So
Yeah,
anyway,
man, I'm fucking like I am legitimately sad that the Dreamcast died the way it did because it was out for what 2 years before people were like, fuck you, we're done."
yeah, pretty much.
And that's unfortunate because it really was a really good system with a lot of, like, I mean, you talk about hidden gems. There's really not many hidden gems you can go back to on a lot of other systems, but, like, that system is fucking just chock full of really great games that you probably haven't played yet. And Sega just has not been the same since. They have not been able, like, they can't make a hit game anymore. They can make okay games, and they can make some stuff that, like, Sonic Racing Transformed, Sonic All-Stars or whatever. That game's really, really fun, but, like, nobody gave a shit. The Xbox exclusive games that you mentioned, like Jet Set Radio Future and Panzer Dragoon Orta, and even like Virtua Tennis 3, which came out, like
Sega GT, Shenmue 2.
Shenmue 2, like it just nobody cares anymore, and that's so sad. Like, I mean,
it is kind of sad. I mean, and the system also really showed its age pretty quickly. And which was kind of odd because, like, once PS2, Xbox, and GameCube were on the market, the Dreamcast did kind of seem a little visually weak. But on the same token, the Dreamcast was the first time, at least to my eyes, that 3D gaming didn't look like absolute shit.
Yeah,
like,
that's
I
very
hate that
true.
32-bit generation, visually speaking, on so many levels. It's so hard to go back and play games. Even the greats, like Ocarina of Time and Metal Gear Solid, they are tough to look at.
They really are.
From today's lenses. And Dreamcast games, I ignored Majora's Mask because I was so enthralled with Sonic Adventure. I would play that demo and see the crisp, bright colors and how gorgeous it looked, and then I'd look over at Majora's Mask and be like, shit, man, this game is ugly. And it took me a long time to play Majora's Mask because, like, visually speaking, like, the whole presentation of that game always bugged me. But it was very tainted by being right next to the Dreamcast launch.
Majora's Mask is ugly. It's not a good-looking game.
The 3DS remake is nice. It's
sure
very well cleaned up, but yeah, blocky N64 graphics. Yikes. Anyways, before we go to our break and then read some news, there was a gentleman by the name of Kris who commented on the Stone Age Gamer Facebook page earlier today. He does some Twitch streaming, and he's going to get himself a Dreamcast pretty soon. He wanted some recommendations for hilarious garbage games. So I came up with a few that I wanted to send his way. First and foremost, get your hands on South Park Rally.
Oh, God. Kris.
It is abysmal.
Don't do that to the poor guy.
He's looking for garbage. I'm giving him garbage, all right?
No, yeah, okay, you are.
There's a game called Spirit of Speed, which I believe was some sort of link to LJN, if I remember correctly. Like, this is a bad racing game. This is poor. Speaking of racing games, I can't say for sure whether or not this is a legitimately bad game, but I remember just thinking this was... I never being able to make sense of why somebody thought this was a good game to release anywhere on the planet, let alone in America. But there is a penguin racing game called Pen Triceleron that's just so intensely bizarre that you just have to see it to believe it. And then the game that... I know there's people out there who love this game, and I will never understand them. It was like Resident Evil before Resident Evil hit Dreamcast, and they're like, oh, this is just as good as Resident Evil. It wasn't. Not by a long shot. I'm talking about close. Blue Stinger. It earned the name Blue Stinker in my store.
Oh, damn, son. Sick burn.
People traded that game in left and right because it was trash. That game was straight swill. And hilariously so. Like, any of those games would be very, very amusing to stream. So, Kris, if you're looking for some suggestions of crappy Dreamcast games to stream, those are my suggestions. Do you have any to throw his way, Dan? Any particularly bad Dreamcast games you can think of?
After that list, no. I feel like stream Soul Calibur. Like, stream a good game. Like, that's fucking...
Stream Cannon Spike.
Stream Cannon Spike, stream Metropolis Street Racer. That game was fucking dope.
Oh, MSR, Gunbird 2. That was a neat shooter.
you go. Like, there's instead of streaming the crappy shit, stream the weird shit that people didn't fucking play. Or, like, stream VMU games. I mean, you know.
How do you even capture those?
I don't know, with a fucking iPhone. Tuck your iPhone under your chin and fucking hold your VMU.
The Chow Garden, make it happen.
Play Chow Garden. Oh,
all right, we're going to take ourselves a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk about a handful of news stories. You're listening to the Stone Age Gamer podcast on geekade.com, so stick around. And now, here's a look at some of the other original content available right now at geekade.com. First up, Geekade's newest writer, Janelle Hawks, is a lover of many things. She loves wrestling. She loves music. She loves music about wrestling. And a great many other things, too, that may or may not have anything to do with wrestling. Or the band Hanson. Her first article for the site is the first in a new monthly series wherein she plans to highlight the coolest new music coming out every month. Check out our first installment of Turn It Up in the Think Tank.
I liked it. It was a good article. Well done, Janelle. Anyway.
Quite.
Sorry.
Welcome
next, Jonathan and Patty are back for episode 2 of their monthly X-Men podcast, and this time they're discussing Fox's new TV show based on Legion, Professor X's son. How deep will the references go? Will he have Legion's absurd fucking hair? What's
like
Jonathan?
Paul from Tekken looks flat out normal in comparison to Legion's head.
It's not even. It's so. Ugh.
Legion looks at Guile and says, "Pussy."
I believe Evan has another one. What's Jonathan's new catchphrase? Find out. Legion looks at Guile and says, "Pussy." That's Jonathan's new. You gave it away, Kris. Now they don't have to listen to the show. Find out what his other new catchphrase is. Find out the answers to these burning questions and more in Mutant Musings, Episode 2, Old Man Wrinkly Balls.
Wolverine's balls.
They're also adamantium.
They are.
Clang.
It's like one of those things you put on a desk. Perpetual motion machine.
You got a real pair of big old brass balls, don't you, son? Nope. Adamantium. Ugh.
Then, several months ago, the cast and crew of Geekade's Ring the Bell squared off against the cast of Nerdopotamus's Tiger Driver 91 podcast in a battle of wits. Wrestling-related wits. That's right, it's wrestling trivia time, and you can catch all the hilarity right now on the Geekade YouTube channel. Be sure to check out Quizmania Slamfest 1, Ring the Bell versus Tiger Driver 91, hosted by Why I Love Wrestling's Dan Ryan.
Apparently doing a fucking Kevin Smith impersonation. I don't know why nobody told me about that, but I noticed it. God damn it, I'm a hack.
Isn't that just the way you talk?
I think it is. It's a Jersey thing, maybe. That's my excuse. It's a chubby guy from Jersey thing with beards and thinning hair. Finally, the Paper Cuts podcast has reached 100 episodes. I know. I can't believe it either. I can't believe Kris wrote episodes and not issues, since I say issue fucking every week. But
yeah,
apparently
you do say
he
issue
doesn't
every week.
Fucking listen.
I didn't want to say reached 100 issues, because if you don't listen to the podcast, you're like, what the hell are you talking about? Is it a book?
Yeah. 99 issues, but a bitch ain't one. Fucking. To celebrate.
Hockey jersey wearing motherfucker.
Oh, I'm going to go tweet some shit later. To celebrate, we invited Xander Cannon of Kaiju Max fame to come on the show, and he fucking did. Like, he listened to the show and then was like, yeah, I'll come on. That's fucking nuts, man. Like, not for nothing. I know you wrote in the script for me to say I can't believe it, but, like, legit, I couldn't fucking believe it. He was like, yeah, totally, I'm on. Really? We're fucking idiots, dude. Like, you're a professional. We're professional assholes. Like, but he came on and he was super fucking gracious and lovely to talk to, and it was an awesome interview. And you should definitely check out Paper Cuts Comic Book Podcast, episode 100, Prepare the Xander Cannon.
You can catch all this great stuff plus tons of other articles, videos, podcasts, and more right now at geekade.com.
You did that so well, it sounded like you spliced in a prior recording.
I did. I have a tape recorder.
Do you?
No.
I have an old dictation machine next to me.
And we're back. You will never know what just happened.
No.
And really, it's for the benefit of mankind.
It really is.
So, we're
really
going to
is.
talk about some things that popped up in the news that I thought were interesting. And give a little tip of my hat to Mr. Matt Much. Gave me a couple of news stories that I thought were interesting. So thank you, Matt Much, for being Dan Ryan. All right. Microsoft just approved an NES emulator on the Xbox One. What?
Did Nintendo approve it?
No.
Because if they didn't, see, like,
It's like
this
what's
is
this
why
thing called?
Japan hates you,
Nestbox?
Microsoft.
Like
This is why
Nestbox.
Japan
Like, yeah,
hates,
sure, go
yeah,
ahead.
like,
They're totally approved. Put it on the Xbox One.
like if they had any balls, they would fucking approve a PlayStation emulator. Be like, play your PlayStation Now games on Xbox One. Yeah, like, but
This is like the Atari adapter for the ColecoVision.
it really makes about as much sense. Like, of course Nintendo's going to shut that down. But what I don't get, like, what's the strategy here? Like, what's the end game for Microsoft in this? Because they have to approve this knowing that Nintendo is going to shut it down. Because, like, yes, play pirated NES games on our fucking console. Like, of course that's not going to fly. But, like, does Microsoft get to be like, well, we wanted to let you play stolen NES games, but Nintendo said no, the fucking bastards. Like, I don't
it's like it's got this. It's been available on Windows and Windows phones and stuff forever, and it's like it's got legitimate uses where you can play. What is it? Nestbox type things where they've created the games to work like old NES games, but it also doesn't prohibit you playing. What is it? This thing is capable of playing ROMs of NES, Super NES, Sega Genesis, Game Boy Color, and Game Boy Advance titles.
Yeah, I mean, fuck. Like, if it actually happens to come out before Nintendo shuts it down, like, download that, get the fucking Altered Beast that came out on Game Boy Advance. You'll be fucking good to go. But, like, it's not gonna happen, man. It's weird. That's a weird fucking, like.
How did this get past the approval process? How did somebody at Microsoft be like, "Yeah, no, let's do this. We're doing this."
So, like. Do they just not give a shit? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't understand what the end game is there. Especially,
yeah, me neither.
Like, especially when you're dealing. I am not a Japanese businessman. I don't know if you know that about me. Like, listeners, I'm not sure if you're aware,
really?
but I am. Yeah, no shit, right? I am not a Japanese businessman, but what I know from movies and TV shows is that Japanese businessmen take respect and, like, unspoken agreements very seriously. And this is the kind of shit, like, you just don't do. You just don't do shit like this. Especially with a company like Nintendo. Because they're going to fuck you up pretty bad. It's slimy. I don't like it. I really don't.
It's not good stuff.
And I don't give a shit about emulators because, like, you want to fucking emulate a Sega Genesis and play NHL 94 on your like, nobody's losing any money off of it. But that's something you have to go out and do. That's not a console approving a thing that is like that. Just seems, I don't know. I don't care for it.
Ditto. All right. I
Ditto.
love this headline so much. So much. Smash player wins tournament is awarded a bag of rice.
Was it jasmine rice? Because that's not a bad deal. Jasmine rice is fucking delicious.
So this Kotaku report here that I'm reading is Kamemushi, who came in second place at EVO's 2016 tournament for Super Smash Bros., swept through the 25th Umebura tournament in Tokyo yesterday thanks to his lightning speed and brutal combos. His prize, 1 pair of headphones and a 66-pound bag of rice.
Ooh.
So yes, this is a Kotaku article that was forwarded to me by Mr. Matt Much, and boy, oh boy, there's a picture of the rice and everything. Like, okay, dude wants some rice. That's something.
I just want to live in Japan. I had the opportunity before I had kids, and now I don't have that opportunity anymore, and I'm kind of fucking sad about it.
See, I prefer to live here and witness this business from afar, because Japan is the place where you can walk into an arcade and find a pair of ass cheeks with a dildo that's the video game. It's a dildo simulator that you shove a dildo in a man's ass.
I want to play that game.
I'm not making that shit up. That's a real thing that exists.
I want to live in Japan. I want to play a dildo in a man's ass video game, and I want to fucking see a Godzilla movie in a Japanese theater. Is that too much to fucking ask? God damn it.
Take a vacation. I don't know. All right, let's see what's next.
More Shovel Knight.
Yeah, more Shovel Knight's coming out.
So
now you said that you were disappointed with the Plague Knight. I'm very curious why you were disappointed with that.
I don't like the way he controls. It's so, like, I understand it's different from the way Shovel Knight controls, and it should be different than the way Shovel Knight controls. I just find his playstyle very awkward, and I have not been able to progress very far through it because it is frustrating to me personally. Like the jumping and the bomb jump higher, like
that was really interesting to me. See, like this reminds me.
I'm not saying it's not interesting. I just don't happen to care for it as a play style.
I didn't finish it. I'm not going to say that I'm not going to lie and say I finished Plague of Shadows because I've beaten Shovel Knight. It's the same. It's essentially the same thing, but with different characters. It reminds me a lot of Mega Man Powered Up on PSP, where if you beat the Robot Masters without using a special item, you then have the option of playing through the game with them. And if you've never really, if you think, wow, I'm going to play through this game as Gutsman, and then you think about it and you're like, Gutsman can pick up and throw things. This is really hard.
Yeah,
that's kind of how I felt about like the way that they made that shit work, and now I'm really excited to see where they go with all the boss characters that they're going to do, and I love that they're following through with it. Like this was something they said they were going to do
awesome.
in their Kickstarter, and it's taken them forever, and it doesn't mean I don't give a shit at all. It's just like you backed this thing. We said we were going to do it. We're going to give you playable boss characters, and they're just running through the list. And Spectre Knight's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
I'm jazzed for this.
I adored Shovel Knight. I thought it was absolutely incredible. I would love to have another one. The Plague of Shadows thing, I didn't love. I love the fact that they didn't. The playstyle wasn't for me. But I am kind of excited that this is coming too, because maybe I'll dig this one. Who knows? You know what I mean? We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing that Plague of Shadows didn't click with me on was, like, I remember playing around with it for a little bit, like, this is really cool. I can't believe they made this work, and it feels so different. But I wasn't ready to play through that game again.
Right. It also doesn't really give you much of a reason to do so. You know what I mean? Like, there's not... Because, like you said, it is kind of just going back and playing through the game again. There's not enough of a difference in the story to warrant another playthrough when there are so many other things vying for attention as well.
Yeah, it's kind of like playing through. It's kind of like the newer versions of Mutant Mudds that kept coming out. Like every time they'd come out and be like, "I really like Mutant Mudds. I'm not really ready to do that to myself again."
Yeah.
So, but the fact that this stuff is coming to us, I believe it's going to be free for us Kickstarter backers because we paid for it. So
I believe it's going to be free for everybody.
Now, see, that's just great. I love all this. The Shovel Knight, Yacht Club games, you guys are my freaking heroes. Like, just keep doing what you're doing. You make me happy.
Yeah, good stuff.
Good stuff. All right, let's see. Interplay is selling off their IPs because clearly they've got nothing left in the tank. Interplay is done.
What IPs do they even have that anybody gives a shit about?
Earthworm Jim.
Nope. Well, no, that's not true.
Yeah,
I don't give a shit, but somebody
people
would.
give a shit about Earthworm Jim. I mean, that HD remake did pretty well for them. Let's see. Do they still have MDK?
They do. I'm looking at the list right now. We've got Earthworm Jim, Free Space, which I've never heard of.
Yeah, I mean,
Giants, was that Giant Citizen Kabuto?
yeah,
maybe.
Think so.
Kingpin, which if there was a game based on the Woody Harrelson Bill Murray movie that I missed somehow, but I doubt it. Messiah, I don't know what the fuck that is. MDK was okay.
It never clicked with me the way I feel like it should have.
Yeah. Run Like Hell.
No.
Sacrifice, I don't know what that is.
Me neither.
Battle Chess, like, okay.
Sure.
That's not really your IP. That's fucking everybody. Like, we own chess. No one else can make a chess game.
It's the world's. Clay Fighter.
Clay Fighter, like, a new Clay Fighter could be really cool.
Claymates, same there.
Yeah. Dark Alliance and Descent. Fucking Descent was dope. I like Descent a lot. But like Descent is one of those games that like
it's a product of its time, you know.
Your dad played Descent because it came with his Windows 95 install disk. You know, like it wasn't a game that people lined up to get. It was a game that they gave to you, and you're like, oh, that's cool. It's got a pretty cool soundtrack. I can put it in my CD player in my car, on my Walkman. Like my
Discman.
My Discman fucking, my little tape thing that I plug in so I can listen to CDs. Does it have 20-second skip protection? It doesn't? Well, fuck you, Rufus. Get out of my car. With your bullshit Discman.
I don't know, man. I'd like to see somebody make a new Earthworm Jim game and have it be good. Because it's been a long time since they've done that. There was Earthworm Jim 1, which was pretty great. Earthworm Jim 2, which was pretty good. A lot of big
Earthworm
ideas.
Jim 3D.
Which was kind of crap. And then Earthworm Jim Menace to the Galaxy for Game Boy Color, I think, which was...
Sure.
I've seen people argue that game is really good, and I think those people are all dead fucking wrong. Like, this game is boring as shit. And it's got, like, nothing to do...
I found every Earthworm Jim game boring, to be quite honest. I always felt like there was too much blind faith in the game. I always felt like, you know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of jumps where it's like, I know there's going to be a fucking thing there, but I can't see that there's a thing there, but I got to fucking jump at it. Like, I didn't like the level design of it. Like, the character's fine, and it's quirky, and...
That was the thing. Like, the graphics were great. The music was great. The characters were great. The world was great. But from a pure gameplay perspective, the game missed a lot of the marks. Like, it was... I had fun playing it because of the world that it was in. But you're right. There's a lot of level design in there. It's like... Everyone gives shit to that Ninja Turtles game for NES for the swimming level, and nobody gives shit to Earthworm Jim for the level where you have to go around in that submarine without cracking the thing open. Like, it's just as tough. It is. Go back and play them side by side. One is just as tough as the other.
Yeah.
It's just not particularly well designed, but the game had so much character that I didn't care.
Yeah.
And
well, like
Earthworm Jim,
and like case in point, when Enter the Matrix was coming out, people were really excited that Shiny, the Earthworm Jim guys, were going to make a Matrix game because, like, it was going to be a Matrix game that was going to be good. And then people played it and they were like, oh, yeah, actually, these guys don't know what the fuck they're doing. They just deal with good worlds. Like, the Matrix world is exciting, but the game was shit. Same thing with Earthworm Jim.
To be fair, Enter the Matrix may have been a good game if they were allowed to finish it.
That's a good point.
Because that game was straight up not done yet.
No.
Well, it's got to come out now before the movie. They're like, we're not done. Like, this is flat out not done yet. They're like, well, press it to a disc. We're Atari.
We don't give a fuck.
Says Matrix on it. It's going to sell. And they made their money, so.
Oh, they did. They did.
Whatever.
But anyway, yeah, I mean, an Earthworm Jim done by a talented studio could be really great. Something like a Yacht Club Games or the team that made Rogue Legacy or Drinkbox. Like, give me let Drinkbox Studios
let
make an Earthworm
Drinkbox
Jim.
make Earthworm Jim.
I'm all about it.
You're a genius.
I know.
Oh man, that would be nice.
It's a lot
that would
of
be
pressure.
really, really, really interesting.
To have to come up with all these good ideas every week.
I mean,
But-
I would really love to. I would love to see a talented studio make a new Clay Fighter. Because like there's some fun ideas to be had visually speaking with a clay-based fighting game. Like, there's some fun that could be had there. Like, you go back and play Clay Fighter now, it does not hold up. Like, it was a
No.
novelty at best, but those character designs are kind of amusing.
Yeah, Blue
and I'm talking
Suede
about the
Goo
first
and
Clay
Helga.
Fighter, like
The
the
fucking-
second C2 Judgment Clay and Clay Fighter 63 and a third. Like, yeah, all right.
No.
You kind of
guys-
lost the novelty there, but like Bad
You guys
Mr.
are
Frosty
trying
and
too
whatnot.
hard.
Exactly. Like the first game didn't try at all. There was a character named Taffy. There was a character named Blob. It was just a wad of clay.
Pretty awesome. Helga,
Yeah, it
the
was-
fucking Viking.
Yep.
Yeah, it was fun. Like there's a good idea there. They should go the fucking Killer Instinct route and just like release it a character at a time. That would be a fucking good. No, it wouldn't. That would be a horrible
That would
idea.
be a horrible idea.
Fuck you,
And
Killer
while we're
Instinct.
talking about Killer Instinct, whatever you do not redesign your characters the way the people who did the art direction for Killer Instinct on Xbox One did, because not everybody needs tribal tattoos.
No, fucking Blob should have a tribal tattoo. That would. Be
That's true.
amazing.
Yeah.
Fucking Blob and Taffy, some hardcore tribal sleeves.
The Battletoad in Killer Instinct just looks really disturbing to me.
It's very realistic. What,
Really?
what would an actual toad look like? If it was actually anthropomorphic and like humanized and like, oh shit, that's nightmare fuel. That's why we don't
Yeah.
fucking do that. Never mind.
Gross. That's why you don't do that with
Gross.
Ninja Turtles. Oh wait, they did.
Oh wait, Michael Bay, you're a dick.
All right, let's see here. Warcraft Adventures apparently made its way online, which is a point-and-click Warcraft game.
Because sure.
Because sure, it was apparently going to happen at some point, and then it didn't, and now the whole game leaked online, and it seems that it has already been pulled by Activision. Because, sure.
Can I just get StarCraft Ghost? Like, I actually still want to just play that game.
I think you and a lot of people really want to play that game.
Fucking whatever. We're not going to talk about it. Move next story, Chris. Because this
You really
one
want to go to the
also-
next story? Last
No, I
Guardian
don't,
delayed
but
till
I-
December.
I want to just get it over with.
So, Last Guardian. It's coming out in December, apparently.
No, it's not. This is how it starts. This is how democracy dies, with thunderous applause. Thank you, Queen Amidala. This is what's happening.
Oh, God. Quoting Revenge of the Sith. Damn.
You're going down a path I can't follow.
Last Guardian, you're going down a path.
You really are. God damn
You're
it,
breaking
Last
my
Guardian.
heart.
Don't try it, Last Guardian. I have the high ground. I will cut off 3 of your 4 extremities. Fuckers. Stop it. Just put the game out. God, nobody else puts out games that are finished yet. Fucking call up Capcom. Ask them what they did. They fucking shipped Street Fighter. Shit wasn't even close to done. Fucking just do it. Nobody. Look, here's the thing.
Release a demo.
Get
You know what?
something.
Dude, give us something. Like, I am totally fine, just like our next story, I am totally fine with delays. I'm totally fine with delays, as long as they mean something. And I just haven't gotten the feathers quite right yet.
Just the feathers are not animating quite. God damn it. This is how.
I mean,
Bloodstained.
this one is a bit
Bloodstained.
surprising. Like,
I
how did they get this far? And they're like, yeah, no, we're not quite there yet.
No, like we need a week. Like, we just need a week. Fuck, man. I don't know. It's not a good sign. It really. This has me very, very nervous about this. Like, it's going to come out. Like, I am 100% confident that the game is going to come out. But I worry now with a delay this close to release. I worry, and this will be a reference that only a couple people get because they were also disappointed like me, but that we might be looking at something like Advent Rising of like
Ooh.
Oh, the hype is so fucking. Oh, that's what you gave me. Oh shit! God damn it. Never
See,
mind.
I don't know. I have more faith in this team.
I do too.
My
but-
faith in this is less that it's going to be like we've bitten off more than we can chew, and more of I want this to be right. You know, and that's something that I heartily approve of. Like, all right, our next story we're going to be talking about is Bloodstained. Bloodstained, the Kickstarter thing, got delayed until 2018, and I'm fine with that because Iga got up and just said, "Look, it's just not fucking done. It's not right, and we're not releasing it until it's right." This is that and Last Guardian do not strike me as Mighty Number 9 situations, where that one just got pushed and pushed and pushed, and you can clearly see that game kept
still
getting
wasn't
pushed
ready.
because he was done with it. He was just like, I've moved on. I've got Azure Striker Gunvolt. I've got this other thing that's going to be like Mega Man Legends. I'm working on Recore. Like, Inafune was done with that game, and the people that were left behind to finish that game clearly did not do a good job of optimizing it.
No.
We've talked about Mighty Number 9 on the show. I'm particularly pissed because I kickstarted it and got the Wii U version, which is nigh unplayable.
The worst version.
Yeah, the worst version. Good on me. I should have got it for friggin' 3DS. Right? Did it come out on 3DS? I don't even remember. Doesn't matter. I wanted to like that game, and there's a core structure there, but the Bloodstained thing is like, I appreciate you getting up and owning this. Like, I appreciate that. I'm concerned because I don't plan on having an Xbox One or a PS4 anytime soon, because I don't plan on having money in my life anytime soon.
No.
I will get an NX, whatever that is, but by 2018, there's not going to be much of a Wii U. Like,
No.
so I'm very curious what they're going to do with that, because I know they have a separate team dedicated specifically to making the Wii U version. I'm wondering if they're going to move that production onto NX and how that's going to affect their Kickstarters. It's a strange situation to be in, and it's an unfortunate situation, but, you know, delayed game is, you know, delayed until it comes out, and a bad game is bad forever. You know,
Yeah, no, that's
that Miyamoto saying. So yeah, Last Guardian being delayed till December, I find it's a short delay. That's
Yeah,
why it doesn't
it's 2
concern me
months.
all that much. It's just hysterical because it's
Yeah.
like, nah, not quite. And you're not even getting a demo. Like, come on, hook us up with like a half an hour of gameplay. Like, come the hell on. You know you can do that. Bloodstained, I think is shaping up nicely, and I have complete and total faith in Iga that he's not going to release something that he's not happy with.
Yeah, I will give him that, and I also appreciate the fact that there was no bullshit with this delay. It was 2018, not 6 months, and then we have to delay again, or not 3 months, or like it'll be out second quarter of what it was like. No, it's fucking 20. Like,
We need another year.
back off. It's not ready yet. The muffins are not done. Stop asking for dessert. You haven't even eaten your peas. Fuck you. It's parenting humor.
Muffin button.
Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate because I really want to play it, but I really don't want it to end up like a Mighty Number 9 situation, because what was so detrimental about Mighty Number 9 is not necessarily the fact that it was a bad game or that Inafune made a bad game, because he's human. Like, you're right, he's being pulled in 15 different directions. They're developing a game for 600 consoles. Like, the Coleco version isn't quite optimized, and who fucking thought it would be? The CDI version is one of the better. You know, like, there's just these weird things.
It plays great on my TI-89.
It's fucking amazing. But, like, what that game did is, by being so shitty and being delayed, is it hurts future Kickstarters. And that is a bad thing.
Because, I mean, I look at the Toe Jam and Earl Kickstarter, and every update I get on that, I'm like, you guys are fucking doing it, man. Live the dream. And I don't want to say that Mighty Number 9 is a bad game.
But
the
it is.
trouble is, it's a mediocre game. And that's why it hurts so badly.
Right.
Because it's not... I can't say that it is a bad game. I can say that it's a bad game on Wii U, but I can say that if you cut out the loading times, it would just be a mediocre game. And that's almost a bigger punch in the gut than it just being flat out bad.
Yeah.
It's just like... It just seems like it seems like so little effort was put into it. When you look at other games that have come out that have been, obviously funded or whatever, but I don't know. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. Mighty Number 9 hurt me, man.
If a dude could make AM2R, Mighty Number 9 should have been good.
10 years, but still.
But this is one guy, not a fucking team that has been doing this their whole career.
And the team that kickstarted a lot of dollars.
A lot of money. Like a lot. So
sidestep there. I finished AM2R. It was fucking fantastic.
Yeah, I have to get back to it. It's now on the bucket list of games. It's now over in the pile in the corner with the cobwebs and the spiders and the broken dreams. Over there in my good intentions corner, along with, laundry and shit. But yeah, like it has me concerned, that's not a good thing when such a high profile creator like Inafune delivers something mediocre. That hurts Igarashi, that hurts fucking Kojima, that hurts Double Fine going forward. Maybe not enough to not get something funded, but if Bloodstained
calls
sucks,
Yooka-Laylee, it calls Bloodstained, it calls the Dragon's Trap, calls everything into question.
Yeah. Maybe there's a reason that you have to have publishers. Looking at you, Image Comics in the early 90s. Maybe there's a reason you fuckers should have stayed at just fuck you. Somebody finish Wetworks already. God damn it, Wallace Portatio. I've been waiting. Fucking cocksucker.
All right, we got one last one here. Just because I can't even believe that this got to the planning stages. At some point, there was going to be a Myst theme park with Disney. I don't remember Myst ever... it was a big deal, but I don't ever remember being that big a deal.
No,
I don't remember this game being Disney park kind of... But what are you going to do? You're going to walk in there, they're going to give you a rod, and you're going to be like, figure shit out, kids.
Here's your divining rod. Thanks for $110, you sap.
I can only imagine it'd be the most frustrating theme park.
You know what? Honestly, would it have been, if they had made a Myst theme park, would it have been any worse than this apparent Avatar Land bullshit that they're going to do?
Oh, God, are they still following through with that?
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's coming.
Man. People really think those Avatars... I hope I'm not wrong, and I'm sure I am. But I feel like that's one of those brands that just kind of, okay, well, that happened, and they're going to make sequels, and going to be like, yeah, nobody really gives a shit. Because they're making, 3 concurrent sequels to Avatar? They're like, yeah, we're going to make a quadrilogy out of it. That's not even a fucking word. Nope. We're doing this shit. And
there's only one quadrilogy, and that is the Aliens quadrilogy, and 2 of those movies suck balls. Those are Alien 3 and Alien Resurrection, if you're counting and playing along at home.
Who's still watching Avatar? Who is still thinking like that movie made a lot of money because it was unique for its time. It was an experience. It was Pokemon Go. It was Wii Sports. It was a goddamn fad.
It is awful.
It's a bad movie.
Horrendous.
We're not talking Mighty Number 9 where it came out mediocre.
No.
It's a shitty movie.
It
is a shitty movie with Anyway, so they're still making a theme park out of that thing, huh?
Yeah, oh yeah.
That's a bad play.
I believe it's at Disney's Animal Kingdom is where the thing is going to be, because apparently a zoo isn't fucking good enough for some people. Go look at the tigers, you shit dicks. God damn it, there's fucking tigers. Go look at them. They're fucking amazing. It's magical. There's also the Yeti roller coaster, which is fucking dope as fuck, and a really cool Nemo show, and a fucking Ant's World or a Bug's Life, whatever the fuck it is. Why the fuck do you need Avatar? Fuck you. I hate that shit. I'm so annoyed. Anyway.
But at least they didn't make a Myst theme park.
It wouldn't have been any worse. That would have been better. That would have been like, hey, go solve a puzzle or you're going to fucking die in here. Like, it would have weeded out some of the stupids. Fuck, man. God damn it.
And that's our show.
You can't spring this mist shit on me. It wasn't in the notes. I wasn't prepared. Next thing you're going to tell me is that Great Adventure is going to fucking add a braid section. Oh, Jesus. Why am I in this little pantsuit? Not Angus Young. Fuck.
Braid the ride. Oh, Christ. Oh, they're still making a Tetris movie. Shit's gonna happen, man.
Oh, it's gonna be amazing.
They made a movie out of Battleship, guys. They made a movie out of Battleship.
Oh, could it be any worse than Pixels? I mean, really.
I don't. You know what? I couldn't say because I've never seen Pixels. I have seen Battleship, and it's fucking awesome.
It really is.
It's so stupid. It is the big. It is a hamburger. The movie.
You gotta give Liam Neeson a break. His wife died suddenly, and he lost his shit a little bit. He was, I'm gonna make a movie about wolves, and I'm gonna make this Battleship shit. I'm gonna do fucking A-Team. It's gonna be.
Yo, A-Team was awesome.
It was not.
Love A-Team. I fucking love that movie so much. Oh God, I can hug that movie to death. That movie was so fantastic. It's way better than Expendables. Screw that movie.
Oh, you're so wrong, but that's okay. That's all right. All right, that's our show.
That's it. That's our show. Once again, you can get in touch with us at mail@geekade.com, as well as all flavors of social media that we inhabit. You can like us on Facebook, find us on Instagram at Geekade, subscribe to our YouTube and Twitch channels for all our latest and greatest video content, and follow us on Twitter at @_Geekade. You can also find us individually on the Twitters. I am at Geekade Kris, that's Geekade Kris. Dan is available at
Geekade Dan.
If you're interested in more information about anything we discussed tonight, tough crap, because I'm not doing show notes this week. I'm just kidding. I did the show notes, and you can look at them, and while you're at it, you can also subscribe to this and any of our other wonderful podcasts on iTunes or Stitcher, where if you're super nice, you can leave us a review. If you're super duper nice, you can leave us a super duper nice review, because any and all feedback is welcome and appreciated. If you can't tell, we're very tired.
Yes.
I'd also like to thank Mark TDK Knight for our show's theme. I would also like to thank Mark TDK Knight for doing the soundtrack to Mario's Time Machine for Super Nintendo. You can check him out on SoundCloud and Bandcamp, or his website, which we have a link to in the show notes, which I'm not doing. Which I am doing. Again, always remember to keep your eyes on geekade.com, where we post something new every single day. Thank you again for listening. Again, my wife could have a kid any minute now, so there's a distinct possibility I won't be on the show next week. And if I am, it'll be the next week. Sometime soon, I'll be out for a couple of weeks.
Sometime soon, it's going to be the Dan and Evan show.
It's going to be the Dan and Evan show, and I will be engaged in Operation Impending Doom 2. So yes, on behalf of myself, Dan, and our invisible, silent protagonist, Evan, keep playing games.